Hello, OAC students. I'm Sasha and I'm the college psychologist, and I'm here to give you my top 5 tips to beat procrastination. Super quickly, we all know what procrastination is, pretty obviously, and we all know the yucky consequences of it. But I just want to highlight super quickly in psychology, if we're presented with a problem, we're always looking at the thoughts, the emotions, what's going on in your body, and your behaviors, and how these all intersect. And when we're talking about procrastination, we are talking about the actual behavior that we see as a result of all of your thoughts. I can't get started. I don't know what to do. I'll fail. My emotions, I feel yuck. I feel depressed. I feel anxious. My body sensations, I feel jittery, etc. We're purely looking at the behavior that we see, which is procrastination. And I'll be giving you behavior strategies to cope with that. My first top tip to beat procrastination is called just 5 minutes. And just like the title says, it is literally committing to doing just 5 minutes. I don't know about you, but if I have a big task ahead of me, an essay or research project, I know it's going to take me a long time. Even just thinking about that can feel overwhelming and make it hard to get started. But if I commit to just doing 5 minutes, I set an actual timer for 5 minutes. What we often find is at the end of the 5 minutes, because you've been able to get over that hurdle of getting started, you're often happy to keep going and see where you go, which is awesome. You get started on that task. Or the flip side, right? If you do just 5 minutes, your timer goes off and you think, I cannot do any more, you've still done 5 more minutes than you would have done before when you were caught up in procrastination. So that is just 5 minutes. And don't forget about having a visual timer if you can. My second tip for you for procrastination is worst first, or I've got a picture there of a frog because sometimes I call this eat the frog. And the idea being if you had three ugly, disgusting frogs in front of you, one was big, one was medium, one was small, which one do you think you would eat first? Well, usually people answer, I would eat the biggest, grossest one first because then the medium and the small ones don't feel so bad after I've got that one out of the way. And our workload is the same. If you have a really big task you've been putting off for ages, a medium and a small one, often we'll think, oh, I'll tick off the smaller ones first to get me going. But it really doesn't get that momentum going. If you can tick off the biggest task first, you're going to feel good, you're going to see what you've already done, and you're going to be more motivated to get that other stuff done. That one is called worst first, or eat the frog if you want to go with that. Tip number 3, change the location. Now, this idea is pretty obvious, right? Changing up where you're studying. This is based on the idea that often what happens, and similarly with sleep, is if you find you're continuously sitting at the same spot, let's say hopefully it's a desk, and you're procrastinating, you're putting things off, you're distracting yourself, you're watching TV, you're checking your phone, your brain starts to associate sitting down at that desk with procrastinating. So we've got a bit of a pattern happening here where your brain goes, oh, yep, this is where we procrastinate. So you can break that up by changing up the location. That's a new and fresh location for your brain. You haven't still got that pattern that you usually go into. So that can be one way to just get started, change up your motivation, break that circuit of procrastinating when you sit down at your desk. Change the location is tip number 3. Tip number 4 is post-it notes. I know this is a particular favorite with teachers. And this kind of follows the same idea of mindfulness. If you've ever done a mindfulness activity, we encourage you to notice thoughts and then come back to your body. Similarly, with post-it note strategy, if you're doing your work and you're constantly finding that your brain is going elsewhere, oh, don't forget to put out the washing, don't forget to get that person's birthday present, oh, I forgot to reply to that text. I know my brain does that all the time. What you can do is have that thought, write it down so you don't forget on a post-it note and stick it up on your desk or stick it at your desk, wherever you want. And when you've finished your working period, you can come back and look at your post-it notes and tick off those jobs. You don't need to be sitting there worrying, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget all of those important thoughts. And it also kind of teaches you that really normal process of having your mind drift and coming back to the task. That's essentially the solution to procrastination. So this is tip number 4, post-it notes. I've got some right here because I do this one all the time. Tip number 5, and my final tip for you, is rewards. And you might all be celebrating, yay, rewards. Rewards are so important. They're so important because often what we find with procrastination is young people will tell us the reward for actually doing my work, for not procrastinating, is too far away. Let's say you're in year 12 and you're trying to do your research project, a huge piece of work. The reward might be, yay, I get to finish school. Yay, I get good marks. Yay, I get to go get a job or go on to study. But that's really far away. It's really hard to motivate yourself right here, right now, if that reward is that far away. So it's really important that you have rewards that kind of break up that really far away goal to help you celebrate small wins. But also, we know we can't pull from an empty cup. And one of the most difficult things for, particularly we notice for people with ADHD, is it's really hard to get started on the task if they don't have enough dopamine, one of the chemicals in the brain. And we get dopamine from doing things that are fun, that really engage us. So it's really important that we have enough rewards or positive, pleasurable activities in our day or in our week so that our cup is full enough to be able to draw from that, to be able to sit down and concentrate, to be able to find the motivation to get started on a difficult task. So it's really, really important that we have rewards along the way. And when I'm talking about rewards, I'm not talking about eating my lunch. And I'm often not even talking about watching TV or playing video games. Because often we find those kinds of rewards, they're good, but they're not really stimulating and exciting. They're kind of something that we use to calm down and just kind of chill out, which is good. That has its own value at a different time. When I'm talking about rewards, I'm talking about something that really gets you excited. Maybe that's a rock concert or even going to the movies with a friend, something that really fills your cup. And it's important to schedule this into your day as well so that we've got a good proportion of working time, but we've also got a good proportion of pleasurable activities that help fill up your cup, that reward you for a job well done. Tip number 5 is rewards. This could totally be you. Thanks for listening, guys. Good luck.